Welcome, folks. This is Steve Adubato. There is not a parent out there. There are not students out there concerned about our schools. What are we going to do next? We're actually taping in the latter part of September, and we're honored to be joined by the Superintendent of the Newark Public Schools, Roger León. Roger, good to see you, my friend.
Good morning, sir.
So 37,000 students in the Newark Public Schools, correct?
Well, we have a total of 55,000 students in the city of Newark that attend what people understand to be the district schools, charter schools, private and parochial schools in our great city.
So, and are they all living under the same edict in terms of remote learning?
We're making sure that there's guidance that's being provided to everyone with the understanding that I govern over the district schools.
Now, Roger, we've talked many times about education. We have a collaboration with our Stand and Deliver program, which teaches and mentors young people on their public communication and leadership skills. So what I'm really curious about is this. When it comes to communicating, when it comes to connecting with students, what are some of the biggest challenges that teachers face using this technology to connect with their students? And then we'll talk about the students, or maybe it's the same issue.
Well, we understand that the realities of today, no one actually prepared for. However, what we're actually doing is seizing what we are learning to actually provide a better instructional program for children in the future. So we know that in the spring, both teachers and schools and families and students did an incredible yeoman's task of really adjusting from a paper packet, which was the first thing that they did 3 weeks. And we've been virtual ever since April 6th. So continuing that becomes extremely important. Difference between that and the digital divide is extremely important to highlight. We know that if you don't have the technology, there is no conversation occurring virtually. However, the digital divide speaks to also that the discourse in classrooms and children speaking with classmates all across the world is what the digital divide is all about. And this has pushed us to a point where we're required not to wait until that point in time to adjust. We're being obviously asked to adjust right now. And I think we're doing a really, really good job. We've changed a lot of our curriculum offerings to address the realities of today.
Roger, let's talk about the divide a little bit more. So the divide means a lot of things, the gap, if you will, between those who have the technology, those who have high-speed internet access, and the significant thousands of your students, millions across this country that do not have high-speed internet access, do not have the kind of computer that's necessary to learn remotely. Question, in the Newark schools, does every student have a computer, and is it a new computer, used computer, and what are the issues there?
Yeah, so I think at the heart of your question, we're talking about the opportunity gap that exists, not only in our city, not only amongst wards, but in the city in contrast to other municipalities in our great state, and obviously the state in contrast to the country and the world. So the answer to the issue about technology is that the answer actually varies. There are some students who have actually received new computers. That is true. There are students that are utilizing a used computer. That's also true. And then there are students that were issued a computer last school year, and we've asked them to not turn it in at the end of June. So they're continuing to use the same computer that they received last year. So we technically have all of the answers to be true there. I would want to share with you that part of the objective of previous administrations was to get as close to one-to-one as possible. And so in that transition period, what has occurred has been the purchase of Chromebooks in a particular school for a particular grade. What we're doing today is creating a system-wide approach to the actual distribution so that new Chromebooks would be issued to a particular targeted grade. Let's say in the future for next school year, it'll be targeting students who are entering 9th grade. And then all of the other Chromebooks would be redistributed across all of the other grades. Each Chromebook has a lifespan of 5 years. So ultimately, if a student is in first grade and they have a Chromebook that only has a 2-year lifespan, it would be more appropriate to issue that book to an 8th grader in the following year, because it would only have 1 year left.
But Superintendent, let me follow up. First of all, could you go back? I'm going to go back to this question because you said next year. So my sense is there's an anticipation that remote learning may be in the picture for a while, regardless of the vaccine issue, regardless of where we are. Is that a fair assessment?
I'm glad that you asked that. No, I want to be super clear that what has, unfortunately, sometimes it takes a crisis for everybody to awaken and to see that things need to occur differently. So I'm suggesting that come next year, when this pandemic is a lot more behind us than what it is even today, that we will be seizing this virtual reality as part of a norm that contributes to our academic program. It's not that we needed a crisis to realize this. I think we were moving in this direction anyway.
It sped things up though, Roger, right?
The crisis got us here a little quicker.
Go back to the, I got a couple minutes left. Could you go back to the high-speed internet issue? Because you don't control that. There are a lot of other variables there, but you are, more importantly, not just you, but your students and teachers affected by it. Where are we with high-speed internet access in the city of Newark?
Absolutely correct. So anybody who actually needs a Chromebook from us, just to highlight the point really quickly, would definitely need to report to their particular principal or their classroom teacher. One of our realities is that there are schools that don't have them in stock in the building, but the district has the distribution of resources where we would actually move a Chromebook from one school to a student that needs one in another school that may not have any in stock right now. As it relates to the internet, any student issued a Chromebook, we've already purchased through the CARES Act funding monies to accompany internet. So if you utilize one of our Chromebooks, we're actually paying for the internet access.
You say that again, if what?
So if you utilize one of our Chromebooks, so our Chromebooks are being offered to students and they borrow them. If you are using a Chromebook, unlike you're using your own computer at home, if you're using your own computer at home, you already have some type of internet
That's right.
with some company, whether it's
whomever, right. But if it's issued by the Newark Public Schools, then you will do what for those students?
Pay for the internet access. So we've made we have a contract with Altice that contributes a certain amount of the dollars from the CARES Act funding. We budgeted not only for the Chromebooks, but also for the internet access. So a student who borrows our Chromebook gets internet access free.
Roger, let's do this. We are taping at the end of September. Let's make sure that we have you back as we go into right after the new year, see where we are, into the spring semester. I'm talking about college semesters, but that'll be a different time. We'll see where we are. We'll check back in. But most importantly, to you and all those 50,000 plus students and the teachers connected to the city of Newark, we wish you all the best. Thank you, Roger.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
I'm Steve Adubato. That's Roger León, and we'll be right back.
State of Affairs with Steve Adubato is a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation. Funding has been provided by the Northward Center, PSC&G, the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation, the Healthcare Foundation of New Jersey, Johnson & Johnson, MD Advantage Insurance Company, the Russell Berry Foundation, the Adler Aphasia Center, and by NJ Best. Promotional support provided by NJ On Air, and by CIANJ and Commerce Magazine.
What is your child's dream for the future? Doctor? Teacher? Architect? Whatever they aspire to be, a college education may realize those dreams. And NJ Best can help. It's the college savings plan specifically designed for New Jersey families. Start saving today with as little as $25, because now is the time to invest in their future. To learn about NJ Best 529 College Savings Plan, its investment objectives, risks, and costs, read the Investor Handbook available at njbest.com.